Hello everyone, my name is Val and welcome back to my channel. Today and this week we are taking a taste, just a taste, for Unearthly Cosmetics. This part of the whole collection from which I don't have only one item, which is highlighter, but lip oils, and this palette is what we are gonna take a look at. And I'm gonna show you everything that is this nice young man, maybe not so young because he's a vampire and reminds me of Astarion, but everything that he has to offer in this palette. It's 18 shades. This is the color schema if you're interested to see which makeup looks I create with it, and how, whatever, everything that I think about this palette and about its behavior, formulas, pricing, and etc, etc. Stay with me and we are starting right away. So it's Friday, no, it's not Friday, I'm lying. It's 1st February, Saturday. And I'm starting something. I wanted to touch the vampire because it kind of makes sense. Before the Valentine's, you can touch the vampire, romantic, all that jazz. And I'm gonna be doing dark makeup today. Actually, I removed the first makeup I did with it because it didn't make any sense by the color combinations and I wanted to just make it work. I tried to make it work. So I removed the first one and now we're gonna do something different. So I'm going to start with a nocturnal kiss, setting it onto the outer edge of the eye as usual and into the crease. I'm gonna make the basic outline, slightly blended, and I'm not going into the crease itself. So let's leave the crease as is and go over it and onto the lower lid as well. Then I'm taking Veins of Velvet and I'm gonna be applying it on top, just slightly blending it around. It makes this dark, sultry kind of eyes of infected vampire from the middle centuries, and I'm kind of enjoying it as well. And I'm blending things here and there. Then I'm taking just an empty brush and going by the edge to blend everything together. So my socket will be dark today. And for that purpose, I'm going into the dark seduction with the silicone brush. Actually, silicone brush doesn't pick up this shade very nicely, so it's probably better with a finger or with a regular brush. It is what it is. And I'm applying it onto the whole moving lid, just so that I can have it there. And it's not applying too well, as I said, so I will need probably something like a finger. Let's try a finger. And after that, I need something into the inner corner, but it should be in the scope of this makeup. So I'm gonna take the Mortal Dusk and apply it into the inner corner. So, and the rest of the dark seduction will go into the lower lid. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I will only add the black outline. It's gonna be like a wing, but blended. And after that, I will come back with a finished look. So this is the look I ended up with, and I'm actually liking it. Reminds me a lot about Castlevania, something about Carmilla. She doesn't wear red eyeshadow, if I remember correctly. She's like a grayish with a red dress, but this gives something, and I'm liking it. It's nice. The eyeshadow themselves behave normally. I cannot say anything crazy or outstanding, to be honest. They are not bad, they are not exceptional. The Dark Seduction looks more like a satin, even though it's technically a multi-chrome. You can kinda see something in it, but at the same time it's very hard to catch. So it's not what I would count as the wow shade. So this is not something that is like extremely run and buy. So far they are nice. The Nocturnal Kiss is a bit more purple. The Veins of Velvet is this veiny shade, so it's totally up to the naming. The Dark Seduction, as I said, something is happening in it, but it's very hard to catch. And the Mortal Dusk is also interesting because of the sparkles in it, but I'm not quite sure what is happening there. I think I will need to try it out somehow in some makeup to understand what is happening and how it all just goes. And other than that, it looks nice if you are into the vampy looks. I'm into the vampy looks. It's my jam, but not always, unfortunately. So what else do I have on my face actually? I have Mood Exposure as my blush today, and I, as always, mixed House Labs foundation with NARS foundation, light reflecting. So House Labs is this little one, and it makes much better. Yeah, it's just a much better match to me. So I'm into it. And for my contour today, I actually used the new Rare Beauty Gentle, and I have to say, this is not a contour. As you can probably see, there is a bit of warmth, and it's a nice bronzer. I have a cool undertone, almost nothing looks like a contour on me. And this particular thing is definitely a bronzer. Let me just demonstrate. I will take a bit and apply it to my hand. So this is what it looks like. Relatively warm, actually. It's very nice formula, I cannot lie about that. It's relatively warm. So more neutral. Okay, we can agree that it's more neutral. But what will the contour be for my undertone? This is Fenty Amber. And if I take a bit and I swatch it right next to Rare, even if I blend it slightly, just like Rare, do you see this difference? This one is definitely cool toned. This one, not. So if you're searching for a bronzer, then new Rare Beauty is the way to go. If you're warm, then it's not a problem at all. But if you are searching for contour and hoping that this will be your contour, this will not be your contour. This is not how it works. The whole industry made for either warm toned people or neutral the maximum. So I'm just letting you know that this is not anything close to the contour that it's supposed to be. Okay. Continuing, on my lips I have MAC Stone and MAC Stone. This is a satin lipstick from the Intimate Nudes collection. I got 6 of them total. And the stone is cool tone brown, and I'm really liking it. So this one is a Maximal lipstick. Compared to the original one, this is 0.5 grams bigger. So Maximal is 3.5 grams, the original one is 3 grams. So that's the difference. The formula is supposed to be the same. I'm not sure why they put this into the satin formula. I actually want the flash pot as well, but I'm not sure. Absolutely not sure. So that's all I have for now. That's all I have for today. It's very late already. I'm just doing my thing in the night. And I will probably continue with this tomorrow. So if you're interested to see what else we have up in the sleeve, stay tuned. So it's Sunday and I just decided to do some look. Today I want something in the green-gray direction, so I will use like 4 shades. And let's try it out. I will start with the Wicked Woods onto the fluffy brush, but a small one. So I'm trying to blend it into the outer edge, not going too far away, but still trying to blend the shade in there. And this shade requires a bit more packing, so it's more on the lighter side rather than something very, very pigmented. I'm not sure if it's like a top layer or something, but sometimes this happens. But you can indeed pack it. You can layer it up and it's fine. Then I'm going into the Cloak to Desire. And this gray, I will check if it's darker than green. And it turned out to be darker than green. So I'm gonna use it for the darkest parts of the eye on the outer edge and outer V. So I'm trying to blend them a bit together, here and there, just returning back and forth with the both shades to make it like nice and slightly smoky. And that will allow me to just have a defined eye. So from here, I will go into the shiny shades. The first one I'm gonna take with a silicone brush, and it's called Mossy Grave. I think it's supposed to be something duochrome-y, quite sparkly, and I'm gonna take it onto the main lid, just all over. That's how it's supposed to be. And I'm not limiting it to any frame, basically. I'm just placing it wherever it goes. And with the finger it actually will be better, but I will leave it for the last bits of this makeup. Then I'm taking the Moonlit Veil and I'm setting it into the inner corner to highlight it a bit. It's also supposed to be very nice and somewhat multi-chrome-y, duochrome-y, at least I think. Yeah, the best way to apply this eyeshadow is with the finger, but it's okay if you use brush or anything. From this point, I think we're only missing some liner. I think it will be black or gray, I'm not sure yet. And then I will come back with the finished result. So this is the finished look. I kind of like it. I cannot say that it's looking bad or anything. It's much more subtle than I was expecting, I guess. The mattes, you really need to go through them I feel like, because maybe because I've been using the blending brushes, it's one of the things that doesn't give you lots of pigmentation, because blending brush is made for blending, and I've been trying to apply it again and again and again, and this is just what I got. It's not hella problematic, but it's not giving the pigmentation you probably expect from it, because you also want it to be blended by the edges, and then it's kind of one or another. So I want to point out that this light is much closer to me, that's why this side is much more lighted up. So I'm sorry for that, it's just the setup I'm currently having. I don't have energy to figure it out properly. So shiny shades seem to be good, but you try to catch the duochrome in it. It's supposed to be duochrome on the main lid, and it's not really doing much. Like, yeah, you can kind of see something, but it's not right into your face. And I don't really like multi-chromes, duochromes that you have to catch specifically, because there are the ones in the market that are very easy. Like, you need just a bit of light and it's gonna be good. In this case, it's much more subtle than it's still duochrome, yes, but you don't really see it, so it appears much more even in color. The inner corner one is also kind of nothing special. I don't know, it's just underwhelming so far. I also put him right there, so he's standing. I probably need something like subscribe or something. I will check what I can do about that. But yeah, that's the thoughts for now. Yeah, a bit underwhelming. I was expecting more, probably. I also used Urban Decay in the shade Smoke as my eyeliner. I'm starting to have a little bit of panic because it's coming shorter and shorter with time, and I need something like a dupe, like a second piece, like something. So I need a gray liner. It probably will be Inglot, but I'm not sure. Also in February I'm pretty much in no buy, so I have to calm myself down and just accept the reality. It's fine. It's fine. It's gonna be fine. That's what I'm telling myself. Then what else do I have on my face? Hourglass palette, I use this blush, this highlighter, and this powder under my eyes. It seems to be good so far. Cannot say that it's something bad looking. Maybe I needed to go a bit more on blush, but then I have the Nessa Myrix as my contour today. And on the lips I have Endless Cacao by Makeup Forever. I do have a second one, so I'm not bothered by this. And the Buffiest by MAC Cosmetics, as you can see, really nice color, doesn't make your teeth yellow, so it's more on the cool side. Very nice formula, feels velvety, enjoyable, very enjoyable. So overall this makeup is like lighter, much more suitable for life. In real life, by the way, it just sparkles like crazy, but I cannot really show it so much on camera right now. I'm showing it in macro because that's the only way I found. Maybe I'm just not very good in filming some of the stuff, but with time I hope I will improve. So for today I guess that's pretty much it. I don't have anything to say. It's looking cute, looking nice, but work with it is a bit underwhelming, and that's the reality. I will see you tomorrow, most likely, so stay tuned. We have three more color schemas in this palette to go, so see you tomorrow. So it is Monday and I'm doing something in the purple direction, I think. Today I just want to be very simple, so it's gonna be just a bit of liner and a bit of sparkle. I think I will not do anything crazy in this regards. So I'm gonna start with the shade Forbidden Embrace and Fluffy Brush. I'm gonna apply it all over. It kind of gives me a bit of infection look, or like untoned lid that I have usually. It's slightly more pink, but this one is slightly more lilac. Dusty lilac to be exact. And then I will take the shade Eternal Slumber onto a small brush and I will start drawing liner. First I'm gonna do some outline from the top near the brow, and after that I'm gonna go into the liner itself. It's gonna be smoked out at the bottom and sharp at the top, so like reversed cat eye as they call it, as far as I know. And I'm just trying to blend the shades into whatever whatever the shape I'm making. And I actually want a bit more pigmentation on this Eternal Slumber. That's kind of weird. Maybe I just did not break through the top layer That's why it's not fully pigmented as I expected, but you can work with it. So it just needs to be worked through and it will be fine. You can indeed work with the shade. So after that, with the smoked lower line, I think I will go into the shade Fanged Charm, and it will be my sparkly shade for the liner everywhere basically. So I'm repeating the top line the same way, and I'm repeating the liner, making everything sparkly purple. Just for the sake of it, you know, nothing special. I just wanted to be very simple today and not crazy in what I'm doing, so that's the choice I'm making. Then I'm going into the shade Haunted Heart. It's very nice, sparkling pink, and I'm just gonna apply it first into the inner corner, and if I like it, I'm gonna apply it all over. And we are going all over, so that's fine for me at least. And after that, I think I will just go into wing liner just to add the wing in here, and that will be the final look, and I will come back with the finished face. So this is the look. I think it turned out really nice. I kinda elongated everything a bit and made it a bit more, I don't know, graphic kind of. So what I did is I took just a wet wipe and I rubbed my finger in it like so, and just with a nail I wiped the bottom part to make it more sharp. That's all you have to do before applying your foundation. And I also wiped it a bit in the top area, so here and in the bottom, and then I just elongated these lines into the crease. So nothing too crazy, it was relatively simple. You just wipe the brush up and it's good to go. About the shades, so I went through the top layer. There is indeed a top layer that is more hard pressed, and then the shades are more pigmented in general and better applying to the brush, like they are getting into the brush better, and the application of eyeshadow to the eyes also better. So you have to consider this, because if you don't get through the top layer, you may say that it's not really good or anything. Then for the multichromes, you can kind of see that something is happening there, but not precisely. However, when you are doing the really oily swatch, like with the finger, you do the swatch, and then try to catch the shifts. It's really multichroming, like nothing wrong with that. It's just that application either without glue or something binding, or on, yeah, you need some sparkle base most likely to make it more visible. So that's the problem of these shades. With the finger, they're applying a bit more interesting than with a brush. With a brush, it's just like very light. So you may not achieve the effect that is supposed to be in this eyeshadow, but in fact it's there. You can see it clearly when you shift the pans themselves to the light. So you can see what exactly the multichrome, duochrome in these shades is. And the Haunted Heart, which I have all over my lid, is not as wet and smooth as in Gloss Gods. So it has a bit of a dispersion, like dots. It's little, I don't know how to call it properly. I don't know the term probably. That it's a bit more glittery rather than smooth. So it's like separate little sparkles. In real life, it's sparkling like crazy, which is nice, especially in the hard light. But in the, in this soft light, and just not it. But it's still nice shade, and they are wearing also kind of nicely. I don't see anything going anywhere so far. I just have my Urban Decay Anti-Age base on my eyelids, and yeah, that's all I have really. And so yeah, I think I figured something out about this palette, and maybe about Unearthly in general, I don't know. I don't have opportunity to get another palette in the nearest month, so maybe I will get something else like a gargoyle, or I actually want the spring one, but I'm not sure if I can get it. If it will be in stock in general, I have no idea, but yeah. That's what it is, and I think I know how to work with this palette from third look, which is quite impressive to be honest, because yeah, it's a bit harder to figure out sometimes. So, what else do I have on my face? I have my Cheeks Out Ember by Fenty Beauty, just slightly and almost nothing. Then at first I applied Demon Fusion by Hourglass, but it was a bit too orange for this look, a bit too warm as you can see. And it's also more like a shiny blush. I'm forgetting English. It's just bilingual by the end of the day. So I applied Unearthly Cosmetics in Believe. This is relatively cheap. It's like $5, but it's nice quality and I kind of enjoy the brand. So I'm using quite a bunch of things from them from time to time. And yeah, it's still kind of drugstore, but you can find it on Amazon most likely. Continuing, I have Tarte by Cleona. This is a highlighter that is like this nice purplish shade, and I think it matches the eyes also nicely. Then on the lips I have Boys Town by Colourpop. This is a very pretty shade. It doesn't look like anything in the yeah, they are very hard to understand why it is like this. But on the lips it looks really nice and I enjoy it. It's slightly more on the cooler side. So yeah, that's the thing. And on top of that I applied Ooh Baby by Huda Beauty. I love the formula of this. This is like, I have the whole collection of them pretty much because I bought it. This one is a bit more sheer compared to the Sugar Baby. So they're both pink, but this one is less pigmented than the other pink and slightly different color. So this one is a bit cooler because it's more lilac. That one is more pink. And this one still goes into the little cracks in your lips, like the normal texture of the lips basically. And when it's more pigmented and very light, it's not as nice looking. But when it's slightly less pigmented, it's a bit nicer looking. So that's the conclusion I came to with these things. And that will be it for now. I have two more, two more things to do, I would say. I have an orange combination and I have a yellow-green most likely combination that I still need to try out, but that will be pretty much it. Of course you can combine things differently and different colors together in the palette and etc. But I'm just trying to go with what I feel like, and all of the makeup looks that I do are not planned at all. At the beginning I have no idea what I want to do, but with time it kind of develops into the proper idea. So yeah, that's so far it. I'm still happy with it. I'm not sure if I will continue today or tomorrow. There will be a break in any case, but that's it. See you after some time. So it is Tuesday and I did not think that I will take so long to do all of the stuff that I needed to do for today. And unfortunately, it's not exactly done till the max, till what I hoped. Anyway, I want to do some red-orange makeup today. And I decided we will go just ham on that. I will take a fluffy brush and the shade Bite Me, and I will place it all over my eyelid pretty much, except like maybe a small piece of the eyelid in the front, in the first part. But that's just what it is. So let's try to blend it out a bit, slightly to the top. Then it will be okay to fix it. It's fixable, it's okay. It's gonna be fine. That's what I'm telling myself all the time when I'm blending eyeshadow and it's not looking that good at first. Then I'm taking the shade Vampire's Layer and I'm gonna place it to the moving lid pretty much. I was thinking that it's gonna be kind of orange-brown, so the brown in it is kind of a bit darker, so I was hoping that it's gonna work. Oh, we will see. It seems okay so far. It's not like fully proper makeup to be with. Maybe I should add Veins of Velvet, but it's not exactly the same hue. It's more on the purple side and I don't wanna do that basically. So as you can see, I achieved some results. I'm starting to blend out the edges to soften it up just with an empty brush, which you need from time to time to clean, and I'm cleaning it on the brush cleaner like a dry sponge from aquarium, and it works a bit, not too much but still. And whatever is not needed can be removed slightly with the beauty blender that is dry. So I don't want to mess up things. I don't want to deal with the wet lid, so it's just a dry beauty blender that I'm using to remove the excess that I don't need in this case, and then I'm just blending it again to achieve the result I want. Now we're going into our shiny shades. The first outer part of the lid will be the Crimson Thirst. I honestly don't see much of a duochrome in it. It's kind of weird shade. I'm not fully sure what is happening there, but I see some orange to red, and that's it. like nothing spectacular really. Then I'm taking the Immortal Flame, and this one is already more interesting. It's from green to orange, and it's just a bit more interesting, but they seem to blend into each other nicely. So orange to red, it kind of makes sense. And I'm stating it onto the first part of the lid, up till the center approximately. And into here I think I'm only missing like black liner. Maybe I will do something more graphic, but not fact. And that will be the end of it. I will come back with the full face already. This is the result of my makeup, and I did kind of horns. So I tried to make a liner into a horn, more like on the devilish side, but not exactly. And if you add the heart to the end, so in any condition, so you can add it like this, or you can add it to the bottom, like to the very edge, it will be Valentine's makeup. Even though it's more orange, but it also has some pink. This shade Bite Me is blending into this pink. I'm not sure if it's true red, but it blends into pink, on me at least. I'm not sure how it's going to be on different undertones, but that's about it. They are, when you go through the top layer, so the top layer is the most problematic one on these eyeshadows, and you need to dig through the top layer to get to the pigment in the normal condition. I'm not sure how and why exactly it's happening, but that's what I understood. And then the matte shades are totally normal, they work as expected, they have pigmentation, everything is fine with them. And with the shiny shades it's almost the same, and the best is actually still to apply with the finger. However, you can still use the silicone brush, you can use this type of silicone brush as well, at least try to. So this is also a finger, or Unearthly Cosmetics called it bubble brush. It's actually very satisfying to pop, to like squeeze. But yeah, sometimes it's not applying very well, it's also not very controlling for me personally, but the silicone brush that I'm using is kind of better. I wish there were smaller sizes for that brush. I think I may try to find something on AliExpress. They're called silicone brushes for masks application, as far as I remember. So you can still find something that is really nice. And I can tell you that this shade in the corner is Immortal Flame, and it's duochrome, like properly normally duochrome. You can see it, you don't need something special, you just turn to the light and it shows. The other one, that is Crimson Thirst, is supposed to be something in that direction as well, but I don't see anything in it. Also, these shades are more smooth, so they're not really sparkly. The previous ones, some of them at least, were more on the sparkly side, and you don't see the sparkles really in such conditions. With my soft light also it's not very sparkly, but it's smooth and nice, and it's duochrome, and it's kind of nice orange as well. Orange to pink in this case. That's about it. That's all I can tell right now about my experience with these few shades. We have one more to go with 2 shiny shades. Technically even 1 shiny shade, so that's kind of nice. And 1 Bare Bite, which is yellow. I'm not sure how to proceed with yellow, but I will try something out. Maybe it will be something not so blended. We will see tomorrow most likely. And for now, for today, I want to tell you what I used as well on my face. My eyeliner today is Black Black by MAC, and I'm applying it with such a tiny brush, which is called Winsor & Newton Round Brush 40. So it's for artists, like for actual drawings, and I think it's really good for this kind of graphics because it allows, so it's very tiny and it allows you to control the line, and the thickness is not going to be big in any scenario. So this Winsor & Newton, like just an artist brush, it's what I use for graphics. Then I have NYX So Taupe. I already removed it into the drawer, but NYX So Taupe as my contour. It's almost not seen on me, weirdly, but it's there. Then I have this shiny blush and the highlighter from the same palette, so it's like a bit more on the orange side, but not exactly orange. I wanted to keep it kind of in a theme, so that's what I have. Then for the lips I used Colourpop Obvi, and it gives my lips almost like a natural contour because it's very close shade to my lips, and I love this shade. As you can see, it's just a slight contour that is not anything very outstanding, just a bit darker than my natural lip color, and it's great. Then on top of that, I applied the Inferno lip oil from the same collection, Just a Taste, by the same brand, Unearthly. And Inferno is semi-translucent shade. It's like a red translucent, and it smells like Turkish delights with rose in them. So all of them, all the 3 oils smell like that. I have 2 more to go, and I will show you next, most likely, with a couple more looks that I still have to do. But yeah, it's a nice effect. It's a bit more sticky compared to some lip oils. It's more like it's a bit less sticky than Dior Lip Glow, but it's still considered a lip oil. So I like the effect, I like how it looks, it just feels really nice. And this is one of the most natural lip looks I ever had. So super happy with this, and I'm enjoying it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I have. I actually was looking for what to put on my lips, and I did like 3 tries of different things, and only this one actually was okay. So that's it for today. I will catch you up tomorrow with one more look. That will be it. See you tomorrow. So it's Wednesday, and I decided that this look will be the last one that I will do with the palette, because I'm kind of getting tired of it and I want to finish the things up. So yeah, it's gonna be the last makeup look together. I will probably touch this palette later as well, but this strongly depends on when I will have enough time for that and how the things will go. So we are in the situation where only a couple colors left. So I'm starting with the Bare Bite. It's pretty nice yellow. I'm gonna apply it pretty much all over, but I'm keeping a bit of a cut crease area free. So the first part of the eye on the moving lid is left free, and the rest is covered with the yellow. I'm blending it toward the brow and everywhere, so it's like nice and uniform and shade and shape. Then I think I will go with a tiny brush into orange, because there is nothing brown really in this palette. There is like raspberry vein color with a bit of purple. I don't think it matches the yellow, so I will go into the Vampires layer, considering also that we did not utilize this shade much in the previous look. And yeah, let's just go for it. I'm taking a very small brush and going into the shade and just dragging the shape that I want, and I'm just drawing it with the small touches. And after that I'm going with the brush that was yellow, that had yellow on it only, and I'm gonna violently blend everything as much as I could. So it does blend together, but sometimes you may set it a bit too packed, so you gotta be careful about that. And I am just trying to blend the things into appropriate conditions, so to say. And when I'm more or less happy, I will take the orange again and just like veil it over specific areas to make it a bit darker. So that will be the idea, at least, of the makeup look. Then I think we should go into the shiny shade. Our main one will be the Mortal Dusk, because it seems like more interesting one. It's duochrome as well, and you can clearly see it. So I will go into it, and it will take the whole area of the lid pretty much. And onto the outer side and to the lower lid with a small brush, I'm gonna set Vesper Glow, because that is approximately what we need with it. It's like antique gold, and I'm not the hugest fan of this shade. I also don't think that it will be like very intense, very super sparkly or anything. It's not duochrome, so more on a regular side shade. So I'm gonna take it just like that. And I think I will add the brown liner into here and come back with the finished result already. So this is the look that I came up with, and I think the duochrome here is very nice. It's even triochrome kind of. You almost don't see the gold Vesper Glow. You can of course do some look with that as a main character, but I think I'm done with this one for now, at least. It's taking a lot of time, it's taking a lot of effort and things. I have something to say, but I still need to collect my thoughts about everything, and it will take a bit. So the shade is somewhat dry. To the touch, it's also dry. It's not anything jelly, not anything that will try to crease on your lids, but I still recommend to use a proper base, eyeshadow base. For example, this one was a good one, Photo Focus by Wet n Wild. They unfortunately changed it into the new one. The new one doesn't work the same way, but I think this one worked that good also because it had a talcum or talc in it, and yeah, it just sets really quickly and it holds everything really nicely. The alternative to it might be the Urban Decay primer potion, but take the original one, not the anti-age. It's just a bit less. This one is like silicone smoothing, the other one is a bit better. And I'm pairing it usually with Tarte Shape Tape because this concealer is a bit more drying on my skin, and this is the original one. And I just have the feeling that it holds nicely and tones the lid nicely compared to a lot of other stuff that I've tried, compared to like this Gloss Gods base. This is just a color and it's good for cutting the crease and things like that, but it's not holding anything, unfortunately. So for the colors of eyeshadow themselves, as you can see, the yellow is relatively nice and the orange pairs with it also nicely. I'm pretty happy with how the whole look turned out, and I'm not mad on anything. It's weird to say that, but yeah, I think it looks good and the colors are nice, and when you go through the top layer of the mattes, everything is just better. That's so far it. What else do I have on my face actually? I have a Rare Beauty Contour in Gentle. It's not contour, it's bronzer. It's more on the warm side. It's not gonna be that good for cool undertones. If you're cool in undertone, and it's whole freaking 15 milliliters, 14.88 actually, but it's a lot of product and it's very, it's liquidy and it can be manipulated on the skin for a relatively long time. You have to set it, you have to make sure you blended it well, even though it's easy to blend. But yeah, it's a bronzer, it's not a contour. If you don't like bronzers, if you are a bit more cool than me, I think this will not be a good product for you. To me, I will have to use this now, and generally I don't hate it that much, but I also don't find it really cool as it's advertised and stuff like that. It's liquid contour, it has some limitations, and the color is neutral warm. Continuing, I have Dim Infusion on my cheeks. It looks a bit more peachy. I thought it's gonna be nice with the eye look, so it is nice with the eye look in my opinion. Star Surfer highlighter by Kaleidos. It's a bit more pink because we have the pink shift on the main eyelid. Then I have Chestnut by MAC as my lip liner. I always outline my lip like a couple millimeters above the natural line, but I always bring it into the natural corners. So I'm not outlining the corners themselves, I'm starting with the corner and I'm going up. So it's like only enlarged in the top area and a bit at the bottom, but all the other lines are connected to natural lines. This allows this shape that is a bit bigger than my natural lips, and I think it looks okay, not artificial or anything. It's still movable and stuff. So on top of that, I have Nocturnal by Unearthly Cosmetics, and the same rose scented. It's more like a gloss rather than the lip oil, but it's still nice feeling. It has that glossy texture. The downside is that this one is a bit more pigmented, or if you apply a bit more, and you will get it into the little cracks on the lips, like the texture, the natural texture of the lip. This will not happen with somebody with lip fillers, but if you don't have lip fillers and you're trying to use that, it may happen. The plus side is that it's not as saturated as, for example, Huda Beauty, so you don't need to apply it in front of the mirror. You can just smudge it and it's gonna be fine. But very nice, interesting color. I think the effect is kind of cool, and I'm enjoying these products. I just don't have a highlighter. But here we are. Here we are with everything. I think I will need to collect my thoughts a bit about the palette and I will come back with the explanations. Finally, I kind of collected all of the thoughts that I have in regards to this palette, and I can tell you something more structured. So let's start with the eyeshadow color story and formula of them. First of all, this color story, I understand the choice of colors in general. I understand that there is a blood, that there is some mystery in here, that there is some vein arteries, and etc, etc. The color story in terms of the story itself kind of makes sense, yes, but they are not coming together. To me, it's few separate stories instead of one common So the red ones exist in the cooler side and on the warmer side. They do not look good together. That's what I did first in the first makeup look I ever did with this palette, and I understood that they just don't work together as I was expecting them to. Right now, to me, there is two distinctive sides. Each contains 9 shades. So this side is more on the cool area. This one is more on the warm area. And I think makeup looks also kind of speak about that the same way. They are just not really working together, and I am slightly disappointed, I guess, because of that. So I understand the whole idea behind, I understand what they kind of wanted to achieve, but it's not achieved, in my opinion. That's just what it is. So you will have to work in specific formats and specific color ranges to get the normal looking makeup, and this limits you slightly. But if you're really into this and you like the color schema, I mean, nobody will stop you. I'm just saying what I feel for myself, and it's pretty nice. It's kind of unique. It's not fully unique, but it's kind of. And I did enjoy working with some of the shades. The formula here is more on the drier side. For the shiny shades, I am also slightly disappointed because it's very hard to capture the shift. For some of the shades, it was almost impossible to capture the shift on the eye, even though eye is like a more rounded area, which is supposed to work with my lighting. As you can see, for this specific shade on my eyelids right now, it works, and you can see the duochrome, but for some others that is supposed to be a duochrome, I did not see it on the eyes. But when you are actually like applying the swatch onto the hand and you turn the hand around, you can see the shift. So it is there, it is truly there, and the quality of them is good. They, as I said, they are more on the drier side, so you need like a normal base for eyeshadow and they will be okay. They are not trying to run away from the eyelids, they're not going into the crevices and creases of the lid, so it's totally fine. In these terms, I don't find anything problematic. Just the color shift is kind of weird and it's hard to catch. And I don't like when it's hard to catch because, yeah, in like a regular normal situation, you don't walk around with the lights around you. You have one source usually, and you will not see anything interesting in such a source. Then for the matte shades, you need to go through the first layer. I think it's just hard pressed into the pan, so you need to like dig through it a bit, and then it will be fully normal, absolutely good matte. Not completely velvety as I wanted and expected them to be, but they're pigmented and they can be blended well, so nothing bad that I can tell about the mattes themselves. But the weirdness of the color is kind of present, and I probably expected more from this palette and it just did not get it. That's speaking about my expectations though, not about the palette so much. But yeah, after touching a lot of indies and a lot of things, I'm kind of feeling that I can expect some specific things, and this is not what I got here. Then what we have else, this is a very nice cardboard, so it's a quality cardboard. When you are laying it, when it's standing like that, it doesn't warp. So my Muse palette, for example, it's in the packaging still, but it started to warp. This usually happens when you have like a higher humidity. If you're living in the area with higher humidity, this can happen. Also, if you're living in the area with very dry air, something can happen to your palette. With this one, nothing happens. Humidity, I think, on the medium levels here, and we don't have anything very bad, like nothing rots, nothing dries up completely, so it's just weird. And I like that the information about the ingredients and everything is on the palette itself as well. So it comes with a sleeve. It's a box, technically, not a sleeve. But it duplicates all of the information about the palette, about its ingredients and things like that. You have to be aware that this contains carmine. So there are pigments like a Red 6 Lake, which are, I believe, related to carmine. And if you are allergic to that, you should not take this palette because your eyes will cry and it's just not a good experience for the amount of money. Then we have 34.2 grams in this palette, and for 18 shades this means 1.9 grams per refill. This is a lot of product. It's truly a lot of product. It's really nice to have this. However, they are specifying that some of the shades, like Nocturnal Chaos, Veins of Velvet, Bite Me, so oranges and reds mostly, they are made for chicks. It's pigment for chicks. They are not saying to apply it on your eyes, but we all know this is just something that US has as a regulation, and the others are eyeshadow, so there is no problem with that. Yeah, so the informational part, the presentation, because it comes also in a bigger box that is like a better storage. It has a padding inside the box where the palette sits. It was really nice presentation. I liked it a lot. It kind of gives you the nice feeling of unboxing from the brand, but then again you face the problem with the shades themselves and things that I already described. And what else? Actually, let's talk about the price, I guess. This was priced at 79.5 euros from Monolith, and it's not in stock right now. It's not in stock on official website either, and there it already costs 85.95, I believe. I think there will be increase in price in general because of the import from China. So Trump has obligated all Chinese imports to be taxed 10% more, and it will increase prices on indie that is made in China and produced or distributed through the USA company, just like Unearthly Cosmetics. So you may see the increase, and I think it's already there, considering that it was 79.5, 79.50, and now it's 85. So we will get also an increase in these prices because of the imports and stuff like that. I think the best option actually that indie brands can try to do is to ship directly from the China to European customers, to international customers, rather than grabbing everything in the US warehouse and shipping from there. But it's not for us to decide. It's just what I think is logical. Doesn't mean that it's completely right, and that's still leaving the US customers in the tricky situation with this import additional thing. Yeah, so nobody's happy about that, and we have to just acknowledge that this will happen. This already happened. This palette will be back in March, as far as I saw on the official website. And if you really want that, maybe because of the guy, because that he's looking like Astarion from Baldur's Gate, maybe because of the colors, maybe because of the palette itself, maybe you love Unearthly so much, then of course this is not like you can scrape everything that I said and just go for it because it's something you love. My opinion should not really affect you in such a way that it will be problematic to love the things you love. So from this collection there is also a highlighter, which I did not buy because 34 euros for a single highlighter, I'm not really sure that I'm ready to pay for that. 32 on the official website. Unfortunately, I don't know the prices in US dollars because they do not show for me like that, since my location is set to Germany and I am in Germany. So I only see the European, euro prices. Then in this collection we also have 3 lip oils. Lip oils, I'm not sure why they're called lip oils, maybe because of the lighter texture, but they are slightly sticky, like a gloss. They're very unique shades, which I love the most about them. I don't like the stickiness and rose that it calls, even though it says it's lychee plum. To me it smells like roses from the Turkish Delight, but the colors are truly unique. This red one produces like very natural lip. I'm absolutely amazed by that. The brown gray, which I'm wearing right now, is also very interesting, nice color, slightly dark, so it's like something that you will enjoy with the, if you like the darker lips kind of. And this unique milky gray that they have is also is something that I've never seen before, so I'm really enjoying that. Here in Germany they are 12.50 per lip oil. In USA it's 8.95 in euros. I'm not sure if the prices will increase on that as well. I think only Nocturnal, this one, is left in stock, and the others, I don't know what's gonna happen with them, but 8.95 is definitely a bit nicer for the lip product. So 12.50 is not that bad at all as well, considering that, for example, Huda Beauty was more expensive. So 17 is the lowest price you could get for them. The downside that I see is that no ingredients, no any information about how many milliliters or anything in these on the packaging itself. Even the label is hard to read because it's black on black. This, I'm not sure if it's plastic or glass, but it's darkened, so you can see that it's dark, and you cannot read the shade normally except fog, because the contents is milky gray, so you can read the black on top of that. For others it's problematic slightly, but the upside is that you don't need a liner, you don't need a mirror to apply these oils, and you can just like swipe it and you're good to go. They are not as pigmented, they are not going that badly into the whole lip crevices and stuff like that, because there is no such a huge pigmentation. So that's all I had to say pretty much. If you really love this collection and love Unearthly and everything about that, then I guess you would love the palette as well. For me personally, this is probably too expensive for what you are getting. I don't really want to judge the brand by one palette, but at the same time I'm not ready to spend another amount of almost 90 euros in the next case for the palette that I will not love, and I'm not loving this palette. In any case, any scenario, let's have a look on all the looks that I've created with it, and I will definitely continue using this from time to time, because we are not wasting money here. We're using it in other looks, in like shorts and stuff like that. So it's not actually for the waste, but I really wanted to love it, and I'm not getting that. And that will be pretty much all I wanted to say and how I think about everything. I hope you enjoyed staying with me, and I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did creating it. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like or a comment or both. That will really help me as a creator, because I'm just doing it for enthusiasm, and your reactions are the best thing that I can get. So thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one sometime. Bye!